Hey guys, I'm Celia and welcome to Artful Riding. So I'm back here with Zen and I've taken him out of the stall where he wasn't behaving too well. He was kind of, throwing his hay bag around and threatening to kick a little bit and, pinning his ears and thinking about biting, or correcting me for being in his space. And so, like I was saying, I do want the horse to eventually be able to have me in there and not have those dominant behaviors. But all that is going to come from me establishing a better relationship with the horse in other more neutral places. So for instance here, when I'm getting ready to tack up the horse and I want to brush the horse, I'm going to put him in a neutral space, like the aisleway of my barn. And I'm going to teach him to ground tie and stand nicely. Now he's already had a little bit of this work done. Because he used to move around a lot, and you see him now, he wants to move again. And so I'm going to keep repositioning him in the place that I want him to be, but then from there, I'm not going to do much, okay? So here, when he does that, this is just the lack of respect, and him not focusing on me. And so you see him, I kind of popped him a little bit on the butt there with the end of the rope. And the reason why I do that is because I want to lead him from behind. So any type of dominance between horses is usually done from behind. So leading horses lead other horses from behind. They come up from behind and give a correction. Okay, so that's why I popped him on the butt with the rope, as if I was coming up from behind and giving him a correction from behind. So whether your horse is ticklish or whatever's going on here, or he's just constantly interested in other things, I'm going to keep telling him that his focus should be here, and every time he comes back to this neutral space, I'm going to leave him alone. Now, he is the type of horse that likes to back up in everything. He's not very forward, but for now, I'm going to take the backup as a better thing than him moving around sideways too much. Okay, so every time he wants to go over there, he's going to get another correction. And I don't try to always put him back in the perfect spot. I just want him to start paying attention to me and learning gradually to stand more and more still. So here, as he's being brushed, I'm not trying to hold him in this position. So my rope is loose. I don't want him to be forced to be in this position. And yet, I'm going to give little corrections every time he tries to move. So here, again, he's trying to move into me. There. So I pulled him a little forward because I don't want him backing out of the barn. And if he only looks with his nose but doesn't, rearrange anything or doesn't move his feet, then I don't give a correction. The main correction that I give is whenever the horse wants to move his feet. Okay? Because that's when he's completely checked out and is not paying attention to me. So I just keep the rope real loose here, and I allow the horse to find peace here in the middle. And he can look at me and he can look around. That's not a problem. It's only when he decides to move his feet. And if he pushes into me with his face, I just kind of block him a little bit right there, because that's also a dominance thing, that he shoves people around with his nose. He does the same thing when you're in the stall with it. And so this is what I want. The fact that he's just kind of relaxing, lowering his head. And I'm not correcting him for playing with the rope or the halter. And more, I'm just going to let this rope kind of dangle on the floor, and I'm going to block his head again there. I don't want him reaching on me. Here, if he steps forward, I'm going to ask him to take that one step back and then immediately release the rope again. And we'll do it again. He kind of wants to go over to his stall because there's food in there. So there, good boy. And if you do this every day, very quickly, the horse will learn that he's not really being restrained. You're not trying to tie him down or anything like that. But he is being told where his space is at. And then, as you can see, the horse is not getting nervous or anxious by being here. He's licking and chewing, and he's lowering his head. So he's actually getting calmer from being given directions as to where to be and where to stand and how to do it all. So horses get much more anxious if you're constantly correcting or micromanaging every little thing that they're doing, or if you're not. In other words, if you're not providing them with any guidance as to what it is you really want or where they should stand. If they're taking you for a walk just all over the place, and they're being the dominant ones, dragging you around the stall, or dragging you around the aisleway here, then you need to pop them a little bit on the butt and tell them to pay attention to you again, because that's really what the problem is, that the horse doesn't have his attention on you, perhaps because you don't set any boundaries for him, so he doesn't have a high level of respect for what you're doing around him, and that's going to cause those problems. So if you want the horse to be nice and relaxed like he is right now, then you're simply going to set some, nice boundaries for him, being firm, but being calm and relaxed, so that the horse returns to this state of mind. And as you can see, they really like it. He's no longer being dominant.